After reading through some of the comments in the last video, I noticed that quite a few of you made some interesting points, especially about Kinger and Jax. So in this video, we're going to go over what I think is a true story for these two characters, starting with Kinger and then heading over to Jax. Now, one of the major theories that have been floating around the community thus far is that Kinger was the lead developer for the amazing digital Circus VR game, and in his haste to test the product, he ended up using himself and his girlfriend/assistant as test subjects. And we're assuming that his girlfriend is the queen figure that we see in the hallway scene here. And I think it's safe to assume that their original goal was to clear out any bugs that the game has, and also just to test out all the functions that the game has at its current state. But after spending some time in this world, the two of them realized that there was actually no way to escape, aka no exit. And after searching and searching, one of two things probably happened to the queen character. She either goes insane and becomes an abstraction, or she dies in the process of protecting Kinger from something. Which makes sense when you think about the function of the queen when it comes to the actual game of chess. While the queen is the most powerful piece, the king is the one that really matters in the end. Now, a lot of people have been believing that Kinger is a good guy this whole time, but there is another possible path. It seems that when people are transported into this world, they keep some remnant of who they actually were when they were human. Gangle is a crybaby, Pomni is a nervous, twitchy mess, Rag is kind of a pushover, and Jax is a bit of a jokester. I think that Kinger didn't go crazy while he was in this space, but rather that he was crazy even back when he was a human. Which a person would have to be just a little bit if they're going to build a VR device that literally teleports humans, or at the very least their consciousness, into a video game world. And while a lot of people think that maybe he was just some poor overworked game dev, considering that this takes place in the early stages of VR, he could very easily have been a overzealous game developer who was willing to do whatever it took in order to rake in a bunch of money with this new game. And while this is going down an even darker road, I wouldn't be surprised if the queen wasn't actually his wife or his girlfriend, but rather just a co-worker who was working on this project with him. And their avatar is the king and queen because they are the ones that spearheaded this project, or because maybe he had romantic feelings for her that just weren't actually reciprocated, and he thought that the king and queen avatar would be fitting. Many people have also been speculating as to why Kinger is able to keep from turning into an abstraction while so many others have fallen victim to the condition when they started to lose their mind a little bit. And I think the reason for this is simply because his mind was already broken upon entering this world, as opposed to some people who lost their mind while they were here. And I think this kind of goes back to a line that Jax said way back in the beginning of the episode.
Guys, don't be mean.
We've been stuck here for years. Old Kinger over there's supposedly been here the longest.
Oh, did someone say something about an insect collection?
That's why he's crazy.
That line kind of solidifies this idea that people think Kinger is crazy simply because he's been in this world the longest, and nobody else has been here long enough to actually confirm or deny if he was crazy before he actually stepped foot in here. Kinger has probably disassociated himself from all the nonsense that's going on here and is solely focused on his mission that he was sent here to actually accomplish, which is testing out this virtual world and patching any of the bugs that he can find. And I think this disassociation is why Kinger is so easily startled by characters like Gangle simply standing next to him. His mind is never really focused on the situation that he's in, which is why I don't think he will ever actually lose his sense of humanity enough to become abstract. And as mean as it may sound, being crazy may actually be his best defense. Another interesting point that people have brought up is the fact that Kinger makes a weird comment when they first enter the Going Queen's nest.
An insect collection?
I think it's a nest.
He also says the same thing in the beginning of the episode when he's in his pillow fort. I believe that people are right when they say that his talk about insects actually relates to the idea of him trying to fix and find bugs in the VR world. While I do acknowledge that he could simply be an overworked game dev that found himself in a bad situation, I really have a feeling that Kinger's story is going to be much more crazy than just that. Next, let's talk about Jax and the fact that originally I thought that he may be like an evil person or an evil AI in this world that is meant to terrorize the humans that are here. And the reason that I felt like this is because of what he actually says to Rag in the hallway.
Don't worry, Dollface. I've got a key to his room.
Wait, why? You shouldn't have keys to anyone's room.
Nah, I've got keys everywhere, and you've all been fine. By the way, I may have left something in your room today, so let me know if you find it. You're not afraid of centipedes, are you?
Jax! That's literally my only fear. Why would you do this?
I thought that this was very odd that a normal person trapped in this world would have access to everyone's fears and also the keys to their room. This scene with Gangle was also another red flag for me.
Mask.
So, Kane, we having a new adventure today for the newbie or what?
I thought it was cruel of him to break her mask even more than it already was. And this scene here where he's looking around suspiciously made me think that this character was really hiding something. But after some people broke down some of his actions, I now think that Jax is actually a good character, and most of his actions are trying to help people in this world, even if it doesn't initially look that way. For instance, he is the person that decided that they should go and actually check on the clown cough mode, even taking charge and splitting the party into 2 groups so that they could also finish both tasks. One of course being to go find cough mode, but the other being to go save Zubul, who was actually taken away by those gloinks, showing that he does actually care about his friends in this world.
You, me, and Pomni will go check on Kaufmo, which leaves Crybaby and Hoo-Ha together to go handle the Zubul situation.
Do you think pairing them up together is a good idea?
Of course I do. They're the 2 most mentally stable and capable characters to be paired together. Come on, ladies, let's go harass the clown.
And while Jax did joke about putting centipedes in Rag's room, I don't think he actually did that. I think he just has a mischievous, jokey personality. But we see by his actual actions that he's using the key to go check up on cough mode and make sure that he's okay. I believe that this is his true intention for having all the keys. He wants to make sure that people can't simply lock themselves in their room and go crazy, because for one, I don't think he wants to lose any of his friends, but also because the abstractions are truly dangerous. Now, some people have rightfully pointed out that he ran away and left Pomni and Rag behind, but I think that's because at this point there was nothing else that he could do, which is why he was hoping to prevent Kaufmo from turning in the first
I
place.
swear I really did think they were funny. I was just having a bit of a bad day! Hey, Pomni. Thank you. Perhaps help me out here. I understand you don't want to, though.
And in the moment where he steps on Gangle's mask, I think he was simply trying to take the heat off Pomni, because at that moment, Gangle is blaming her for the broken mask. The last major example that I want to point out is the fact that Jack keeps Kinger and Gangle from actually getting caught by the extraction by knocking them into the glowing hole. At first, I thought that he was just being a jerk, but in the scene, we can actually see him looking around nervously because he knows that the abstraction is right behind them. And even though he isn't the smoothest hero, he does end up saving his friends in his own way. Now, while I do admit that Jax isn't what you would think of when you think of like a good character, in his own weird way, he is trying to do good in this world and keep the people safe with the resources and abilities that he has. Obviously, as of now, all of this is just theories, and when the next episode comes out or when the show gets green light overall, a lot of these theories will probably get some holes poked into them, but for now it is kind of fun to kind of just speculate and give our opinions about how we think this show and the characters are going to play out. With that being said, let me know some of your theories down below, and also let me know if you would like me to make any videos talking about how some of the characters maybe actually got into this world, or if there's any other characters that you want me to do a little bit of a deep dive into. With that being said, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this video on the screen here. Subscribe to Toadette if you can remember the Orseofkorse, and we'll see you tomorrow with another video. Peace, peace.